over to the Vice Captain, Dave Sexton, who will introduce our guest.
Thank you. Mr. President, Captain, Chairman, past captains, professional, special guest. I thought if I started by ingratiating myself with half the audience, I wouldn't have too bad a time. I was amazed during the past week or so about the number of people, particularly past captains, who came up to me and said, "Have you got your speech ready? Are you ready for Friday? Have you got a speech?" Well, I've got news for you. I don't have a speech. And I should also tell you, I won't be telling any jokes. What I do want to do is just one or two little things. First of all, I want to pay tribute to our captain. Our captain takes his captaincy in the same way that he plays his golf. Steady, down the fairway, every time. Totally unflappable, totally undemonstrative, but all the time with a clear vision of what he wants to do. I know, having worked with Mike now for some 6 months, that he has the best concern for this club at heart. He wants you as members to be happy, and he wants this to be the premier golf club in the Thames Valley. So Mike, thank you for what you're doing, and keep up the good work. I'd like to thank Mike for inviting me to be his vice captain. It's now some 20 years or so since Chris Messenger proposed me as a member of this club. I wondered whether I had the qualifications to take on such a prestigious position. I thought I need to look at my own life and work through some of the things I've done and see whether they fit in with what I shall be doing from April onwards next year. Now, many of you will be aware that I am one of 10 children, a very large family. I have 7 younger siblings. Now, if you're growing up in a family of that size, when there's only 15 years between the first and the last, you spend a lot of your time dealing with squabbling over trivial matters. So I've got the experience to deal with that aspect. You will know too that I come from Southern Africa. I grew up out there at a time when women knew their place in a male-dominated society. Since I've been over here, I've had to modify my views a little, and I know that there are some of you out there whom I should have to take along with me and have you modify your views as well. Another aspect of my life is that I came to this country in 1979. When you emigrate, you start again, because you give up what you've had, you give all that away, and begin, as I was, at the age of 33 again. Now, how does that fit in with the golf club? Well, we know every time we step up on that first tee with extra optimism, we believe that this is the round for us. As we leave the second green, we know we'll have to try again at another time. So starting again is something that I've had to do, and I do every time I play a game of golf. But we come back, and every time we get up on the first tee, we have that same optimism. I spent 27 years of my life in a prep school, 17 years of those as a head teacher. As a head teacher, you have a very special responsibility, because you have in your hands the most prized possession of every parent. You are responsible for their children. Now, as captain of the club, I'm going to be responsible in some way for your baby, this golf course. And I know for many of you, you have it dearly in your hearts that you want this to be the best golf course that it can be. And I know that I will have the same concerns as you in that respect. A fifth and final thing that I want to mention that arises out of my career is that I spent almost 15 years as an independent schools inspector. And in doing a job like that, you realize that you cannot take things at face value. I was in a year 5 classroom, 10-year-olds, and I looked at what a boy had written, what I thought was a beautiful piece of poetry. Today, grief, grief, grief. Tomorrow, relief, relief, relief. I said to him, that's a wonderful piece of poetry. What caused you the grief? He said, it's not poetry, it's my spelling corrections. Don't take things at face value. There's always something which will catch you out. In conclusion, I want to say to you that I will try to do the job of captain in the same way that I've lived my life. I will listen to what people have to say. I will listen to your views and hopefully be able to carry out the request that you have. I cannot guarantee that, but I would hope to do so. Whether it's been as an older brother, or as a teacher, or as a head teacher, an inspector, and even as a politician, I've tried to listen to people and take their concerns to heart. Now, this is a fantastic golf club. We have a fantastic membership, and we have a great course. And for that reason, I'd like you to stand and drink with me a toast to Henley Golf Club. Henley Golf Club. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Mr. Russ Williams. I know that this is going to be good. We've had a great evening sitting together talking tonight. He is an extremely experienced guest speaker. He's been on cruise lines, he's been on television. He's spoken at over 700 golf clubs. I don't have to say any more than that. Gentlemen, Russ Williams.